How I feel about going into EVO? I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm not really scared of anyone, really. I've literally been preparing for this EVO from the last EVO, you know? I've just been going to tons of events and trying to just learn the game. The last tournament I was actually at was CEO, and this game is so much about, it's not too much about tech skill, but it's more mental. Like sometimes you might be really confident, but then you just end up losing. I've just been trying my best to keep my emotions out of the game and just focus on the game itself, because that's what's most important. And I think if I do that, I'll be able to play my best. And if I play my best, I think I could win. My outlook on the start of the season is, I mean, compared to my last PGR placing, which is 18th, you know, lots of people had high expectations of me. And, you know, I definitely had a rough start for sure. I ended up losing to players who most people wouldn't think I'd normally lose against. But then towards the end of the season and at Civil War, I ended up taking a few good names like Kamemushi, and then at CEO I beat Fatality, who just got second at Civil War. So, I mean, despite my my slow start, I think towards the end I was able to, you know, regain my my mojo.
I'm always going to this tournament like a little bit anxious because it's like the most important one. And I've had a very rough 2 EVOs so far. So third time's the charm, they say. This time, my first bracket doesn't look too hard, but I'm not going to take anyone lightly because this game is very unforgiving. To prepare for EVO, I work, you know, like 25 hours a week, so I haven't had as much time to physically sit down and practice a lot. What I've been doing is trying to go to a lot of locals and like all the sagas that 2DG hosts to practice on mentality. This game, you really need to keep a level head when you play, and that's one of my weak points. I'm really trying to change that, and especially at a tournament like this, you can't slip up. This tournament, you're gonna do like terrible if you slip up this tournament. Everyone and their mom came out, so I really need to be on top of my game, and I need to keep my mentality very strong if I want to perform well this EVO.
So EVO day 1, my pool started a bit, I think this was actually the latest pool I've ever had before, so I wasn't too used to playing at 6 p.m. But nonetheless, I got it done. I had a DDD that I fought in winners finals of my pool. He went by Ponish Police, and he's actually from the New England region, so he plays with Pug West a lot. So he kind of knew the Marth matchup, but at the end of the day, I still took the set 2-0. We had some close games, but I came out on top.
From the tri-state area, this man, Mr. E, showing what he can do with Marth. You know, we've seen his Marth take some impressive wins over some great players.
Notice how he's not overcommitting. He's rather stay on the ledge here and cover every single option Ponish Police is trying to throw at him.
Yep, this is what you call a ledge trap, and it's looking very, very difficult. Will the man be able to escape? Can he play the game? Ooh.
He noticed that he was holding shield a little bit too much there, as he wants to go for the more defensive approach at this percent.
Okay, Ponish Police looks like he was trying to regroup, figure out what he can do exactly. Okay. Wow, okay, opportunity. A little, that's another tough thing about DDD, so slow, and Mr. E just one step ahead with that up tilt.
So my first match of day 2 was against SS, and he actually went Cloud, and I was assuming he would go Villager because I only knew that he had a Villager, but he ended up having a Cloud, so he went Cloud against me, and I have experience in that matchup. I was kind of iffy on the Villager matchup because I don't play Villagers too much, but when he went Cloud, I was like, all right, I know this matchup. You know, there's no excuse for me losing. If I lose, you know, it's whatever, but I came out on top in that match, winning 2-0. And in my next match, I had to play against the winner of I'm Hip and Niatono, and Niatono ended up coming up on top. So I played Niatono, and I play Vinny probably almost every week at this local, and Vinny's just been my demon with Sheik, so I feel like I have lots of experience in the Sheik matchup, so I definitely was ready to test my skills against Niatono. And game 1, he actually had a pretty big of a lead on me. He was at like 20%, and I was at like probably 80 or 100, but I ended up bringing it back and killing him with like a tipper off the top. And then the next match, I don't really remember where we went, but I ended up just winning. I was just reading his rolls, and I came out on top, so beating Niatono was pretty happy for me because it just showed that my practice with Vinny, it ended up paying off. After Niatono, I had to play against Zero in the same spot that I played Zero last year at EVO. We had a very close first stock, I think both games. He ended up beating me 2-0, but first game, I believe, we were both pretty close to 100 each of us. But after he took that first stock, he was just able to run away with the lead. I guess I kind of got a little worried, or I didn't want to let him live for so long. So I would just start air dodging and stuff, and he just capitalized on that and just ran away with the lead.
And mr.e not going too hard off the stage, knowing that it's better for Marth to stay on stage, and that up throw should be able to get the KO.
All right, that's a kill.
122%. Strong rage Marth. That's good for Marth whenever Diddy Kong's like around 60, but you have to get him to 60% to make it matter. And that's going to be really hard. Wow. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Just do it.
He has to jump off the ledge, and there it is. That's going to be a KO.
I was pretty disappointed after losing to Zero because I wanted to beat him so bad again, but, you know, it happens. And then immediately after, I had to play against a Bayonetta player named Lima. He definitely was pretty good. It was just very hard for me to touch him. And, you know, he'd get one hit on me and just take me to like 80%. And I believe almost all of his kills were from Bayo 0 to deaths, or at least half of them. I was pretty disappointed. I kind of, you know, hate DLC. I made some pretty salty tweets after, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. This is what, you know, we signed up for. So. But nonetheless, I had a great time. I enjoyed hanging out with all my friends and just getting practice. You know, even though I did lose, I did learn a lot. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's what matters. That's how you improve. So I'm pretty happy with my overall EVO experience, and I'm hyped to see how everything goes down.
Day one of EVO was pretty calm this year. I remember last year, like, I had an 8 p.m. pool, and after that, round 2 started right away. This year, I had a 6 p.m. pool, which was also pretty late, but when I was done, I was done. I could just focus on the next day. I swept through all my matches pretty clean up until winners finals. I had 2 close games, but I was able to clutch both of them out. So after that, I just came back and practiced with E and a few other people. Day 2, I had a 12 p.m. pool. Like I said, it was a lot better this year to prepare. I already knew I had False, and False is a pretty good friend of mine. I've known him living in the tri-state area for Brawl. Smash 4, we met a few times in tournament and just friendlies. He was in Hawaii with me when I visited there, so I knew what to expect, and False is a counter picker. Game 1, we double blind picked, and he went Luigi. I'm actually really comfortable in that matchup, even though Fox isn't too good at it. And I 2-stocked him game 1, and I was like, wow, this is easy. And then he went Ryu. And I did not have a good track record with Ryu. I feel like both games I was capable of winning and I had the lead, but I got a classic Ryu story, got up tilt Shoryu that were extremely low percents and died. So he was able to take it from me. I was really upset about it because I was like, I know False has been kind of like MIA for a little bit. He ended up doing really well in the tournament though, so after that it was like, kind of reassured me, like, you know, don't beat yourself up too much about it. Immediately in losers, I had to play Silent Doom, who's a really well-known commentator, and he's a pretty good player as well. He's a Charizard main. So I just know Fox being so fast, I was like, this shouldn't be too hard. But at the same time, Charizard is a very underused character, and I know he has some gimmicks. So I just played it very safe, and I just out-charactered him, and it was a clean 2-0. After that, I played this European Yoshi. I forget his tag, but he's #1 in Switzerland. I was able to meet up with him afterwards, and we talked about it. Game 1, he went Peach, actually, and I kind of bodied him. Game 2, I tried to rush it. I just wanted to get it over with, and you can't do that to Yoshi because Yoshi can combo Fox really well, but the thing is Yoshi can't approach Fox, like, at all. So game 2, I, like, lost a close game, but I knew exactly what I did wrong. I used to live with Sky, and he's one of the better Yoshis, so I have a lot of matchup experience. So played the matchup how it's supposed to be, got a lead, forced Yoshi to come in, and I 2-stocked him. So I moved on to fight Earth. And the thing about Earth is I played him at Civil War after I had a good run. I beat DK Will, then I beat Zero. Played Earth. I had 3 close games, but he 3-0'd me. So this time I was like a little bit worried going into it because the way he plays is very, very patient, and I'm more of an aggro player. Even though I think Fox versus Pit is like definitely in Fox's favor, just the way he plays is very hard for me to like wither down. So This time I just took my time and kind of let him throw out things, and I would like act like I was approaching, and then he would like be forced to approach. So this time I was able to beat him 2-1. I was super happy about that. I got my run back. And then to make it out of pools, I had to play Mute Ace, who's a Peach, and I don't like that matchup. Going into it kind of with a bad mindset, I was like, I had to play a character I don't like fighting, and he just beat MK Leo. Like, he's hot off a good win. Even though I just beat Earth, like MK Leo's second best in the world, so I know he was definitely feeling himself. Game 1, he ended up SDing at like 40%, and I like 2-stocked him at 70. Game 2, he ran it back right back to FD. We had like a last hit game. I kind of forced the kill at the end, and I got punished for it. Game 3 was like a super anime game. Like, first stock ended with I up smashed him and it traded with his forward air, and he died off the top, I died off the side, both at 0%, last stock, last game. Then right from there, I was able to take the momentum. I like 0 to 80'd him. Then he got like a string on me, got me to like 30%, then I was able to clutch it out. That was to make it out of pools. First round in the semi-final bracket, I had to play Zenu. And I'm very comfortable with versus Mario because I used to use him myself. So I played Zenu. I actually like beat him very solidly. I 2-stocked him game 1 and I 1-stocked him low percent. I was pretty happy about that. Next set I played was against Static Manny. And Static Manny is a very defensive player. He plays Sonic. And the thing about me, like I said, is I'm pretty aggressive. So if I approach him and like it works out, it'll work out very good in my favor. This time, like, I wasn't able to get the reads I needed to, and he just kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and slowing the pace of the match down and made me play his game. And he beat me solidly game 1. Game 2, I was making a comeback, but it just wasn't enough. And that ended my run at 25th place. I'm pretty happy about, like I said, like players like MK Leo and Ally didn't even make it to the second bracket. So there's an upset city. I caused a few upsets myself. So, you know, some people wouldn't be happy with it, but I can say that like it's a solid placement, and hopefully I can just keep doing better and keep learning.